was in that dry heat. Came home for that 9-piece. These haters act like they my side piece. I got your budget on my timepiece.
Welcome to another episode of the Culture Plug. Today we have J Tips from the Bronx.
What's up? Thanks for having me.
How are you doing?
Doing alright, weather's bad, but staying positive.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Before we begin, I wanted to know what's your opinions on what's going on right now in Texas?
I think it's unfortunate. I think when stuff like this happens that nobody has control over, it humbles you. Mm-hmm. It makes you realize that some of the little battles that really stress you out and that we focus every day on aren't really worth it. Because any day nature could come and just take us back.
Mm-hmm. There's bigger problems. I like the fact that there are a lot of people helping out, like the celebrities and stuff.
Yeah, I think a lot of people raise the occasion. I think, I never want to question anybody's method, but Houston is a really big city.
Definitely.
I think a lot of times when it happens to smaller cities, it gets swept under the rug. But I think a lot of people identify with Houston because that could be their city, and a lot of people's visited. So I think it's almost a damn. You ever seen on the news or anything something happened on a block that you're familiar with?
Yeah.
You oh damn, I could have been there or something. I think a lot of people feel that and they connect with that, and it's hard for them to just not do anything.
I agree. I know that you're from the Bronx.
Yeah.
What part of the Bronx you from?
I'm from the North Bronx, Uptown Bronx, Wheatfield section of the Bronx. Okay,
can you tell me what was it like growing up? What's your nationality, by the way?
My nationality is my mother is African American and my father is Puerto Rican.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say I'm Indian or something.
Oh no. I always got that people used to think I was Trinity or some type of West Indian when I was growing up.
Oh, okay. So going back to Bronx, what was it like growing up in the Bronx? I've been to the Bronx a couple of times in my life.
Yeah, it's rough. I think when you put the 5 boroughs on the list, I think the Bronx is one of the boroughs that's still struggling a lot. Mm-hmm. You see it in your neighborhood, you see it in your friends. In the city, anywhere in the city, you 45 minutes from Manhattan. So I think sometimes we look at Manhattan that's what we go through. But when you walk down the block, you see the corner stores, you see so many people that you grew up with struggling. You know what I'm saying? That's really what the Bronx is like. I went to a lot of bad schools, some of the worst schools in all 5 boroughs. Mm-hmm. And it made me who I am. Most people always say what you've been through made you who you am because it's part of the recipe. But growing up in the Bronx is rough. It's really like a melting pot, and it's tough to get out.
Is North Bronx close to Harlem?
Nah, it's actually close to Yonkers, Mount Vernon.
Mount Vernon, okay.
Yeah.
Has Yonkers influenced Bronx in any aspect?
I don't think so. I don't think so much because I think anybody that I ever knew from Yonkers was more of those. It's so close that it may be one of your Bronx friends, but you know what I'm saying. It's never really to be honest, I can't really tell a Yonkers person.
Oh, you won't because it's so close.
Yeah, because it's so close.
You won't be able to tell he's from Yonkers and.
Yeah, because it's like somebody lives across the street from you. Somebody lives 10 blocks from you. That you're gonna almost be in the same environment a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you grow up listening to, or who did the Bronx idolize growing up?
I grew up, idolizing Big Pun. I was really big on Big Pun, DMX, but I was so much into R&B just because I got a soulful mother. So it was always Mary J. Blige and Tyrese. And
she's from Yonkers, right?
No, she's from the Bronx. My mother's from the Bronx.
No. Mary
J. Blige is from Yonkers. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up real music soul child and a bunch of John B and all that. That was all that was played in my household until I was able to put some money to the side and go buy a rap album, and that's what made me really oh, this is dope. This I love this.
What was the first rap album you bought?
DMX, Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood. I remember I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I remember my mother she was shot. It was in the Parkchester section of the Bronx. They had a little record shop. And my mother she was shopping, and you know how women shop, no offense, but she was trying on everything. She was, she was doing that, and I was sitting on like one of the tri couches or something where people try on shoes for maybe an hour. And she just gave me $20, and she told me to go to the record shop. And that's what I asked for, and they told me I couldn't buy it. It was like, yo, you gotta come back with a parent, and that'll always like sit with me, because I didn't really understand until I got older. Like a lot of people don't want kids to listen to like real vulgar music, but I didn't really hear that stuff. Like when I was a kid, I heard the single, I heard whatever song was on the radio, and I just heard the beat. You know, you heard the flow. You don't even know what you rapping along.
Until you get older, it's not that, you know what I mean? It's not that intense. I agree with you.
Yeah. So that was the first ever album I bought with my own money.
Okay, so.
Oh, not my own money.
But yeah, that $20 she gave you.
Yeah.
Okay, so when did you start saying like I'm gonna pursue this? Like.
Yeah, I was in 7th grade. I was in 7th grade, and it was a bunch of kids in class. They was snapping, but they was like cracking jokes in like a rap way, like they was freestyling, rhyming.
They was older or younger than you?
No, they was in my class.
Okay.
So we was all about 7th grade, 12. So we was all they was all going back and forth, but I wasn't really slick with it, you know. So I went home and I wrote like at the time I'm just thinking it's jokes, but you know what it turns out to be maybe like 4 bars, 8 bars or something like that, and I had something to say about everybody. And from that point on, I just wrote a bunch of stuff about everybody to like tell a joke or like tell a girl I liked her. Like I just wrote a bunch of lines that if I seen a girl, I'll just tell her or I write it on a paper. And that's probably, if you look at it, the beginning of like my rap career.
Okay, so from there, from those jokes, you was like, I want to take this seriously?
Yeah, because I started doing it more. You know, I started doing it more, and then you started to see people, because at that age, I don't know anybody that's rapping. Like, all you know rappers is people that's on the radio. You know, and from that age, that's unrealistic. That's unrealistic to even think that could be me. At 12 years old, I was just playing basketball. I thought like I was gonna be Michael Jordan or something. So when I started to see like kids was recording stuff, or they had like CDs and they was like this and they was rapping over beats and stuff, I thought I got into like a little set where I could go like to somebody's house and I could do the same thing.
I noticed like your first like freestyle thing was like 9 years ago. So you started posting about like 9 years ago.
I started posting probably on YouTube. Like I probably used to have like if you used to be on like MySpace.
Oh yeah, I was on MySpace.
MySpace used to have like a video uploader too. So I used to post videos on that. Like my first ever music video was on like the MySpace, like before it was YouTube, before you could like embed the video and put it on. It was like, so it was around that point, probably like 9-10 years ago, I was starting to put like video content together.
So where you at with it now? Like
where I'm at, like how
do you like how do you feel about how's it grown?
It's grown a lot. You know, it's grown.
You seen that I know you probably improved from prior years.
Yeah, it's grown gradually. It's still the little things that's tough to get over. Like no matter how many shows you've been through, how many times you've been in front of the camera, it's still like you still got to turn it on. Like you still got to be like almost turn into another person, get real professional, start talking more clear and stuff like that. So you know, I still enjoy it. You know, it's a love of mine. I'm always gonna enjoy it, like just getting some shine.
I consider you like a conscious rapper. What made you pick that route more so? It
was, you know, every question you ask me is like a little timeline of. I remember had to be maybe early high school when I made my first mixtape, and it was a music teacher that I seen him. You know, he used to always like hold little events for the rappers and stuff like that, but you know, I wasn't really out there like that. I didn't really have my name up. A lot of what I was doing was just in my neighborhood. Like in school, I was just trying to be fly and you know, mess with girls and stuff. So when I finally put together my first mixtape, I gave him the CD, and what he had told me, like his criticism was like, yo, everything, like you rap good and all the stuff, but all the gang stuff and stuff, like I don't feel like you really live that kind of life. And you know, it was a point where it was like I wanted people to genuinely connect with it. Like I wanted people to, you know, listen to the music and get something out of it instead of like a mood. You know, I wanted you to relate to it. I wanted you to hear what I'm saying and, you know, take something from it. So, you know, at first it's tough because you want to impress the guy next to you. You know what I'm saying? You want to talk all that, shoot him up, bang, bang. You know, drug this, drug that. But, you know, I just wanted to make something real organic that people can't copy.
I feel you. Recently you dropped Arms Reach yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday.
What I like the visual of it. Wait, was that in New York?
No, it was in LA.
I had to be. I'm like, this can't be New York. What inspired that song?
What inspired it was when the producer produced the beat. His name is Dizzy Banco, and he told me like,
He's
yo,
from the
I want you
Bronx?
to. Yeah, he's from the Bronx.
Okay.
He told me he wanted me to have like a Dr. Dre feel to it.
Okay.
So in my process of writing the song, I was really like trying to think like as West Coast as possible. And I wanted to really incorporate something West Coast, and then when we put it together, I was like, yo, this would be perfect if I shot it out there.
Okay. How was shooting it and stuff? West Coast?
Nah, it was dope. It was dope. I've been out there a few times to shoot and to just hang out and just expand my horizon, because you know sometimes you're so cooped up in New York City you don't even realize your reach.
Definitely.
Like, you don't realize that there's people out there, there's an audience out there, and then when people see that you're like that, like you're traveling and stuff, they become like a little bit like, oh, you know, they want to see what's really going on with you. So that part was dope. Like,
So you have a fan base in LA too?
yeah, but you know, it's building. I think it's building everywhere.
Mhm.
But you know, we just gotta work on it. Gotta keep giving people, you know, better music, and you know, it expand.
I noticed you dropped Insecure,
Mhm.
and there's this other song I like is Retail.
Oh, Retail Love Story.
Love Story. So you a lover boy? Like,
You know-
because you're not bashing women in your music at all.
I connect, you know what I'm saying? I connect with that part of me emotionally, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's like,
Yeah, you know, one thing about rap where I feel like I always stand out, like I feel like my ceiling would always be higher than other rappers, because rappers live by a lot of unwritten rules. And one thing a rapper never shows is vulnerability. Like it's dudes.
It's like you can't show that.
It's dudes that, you know, you go on YouTube and they videos in the project hallway, in the project apartment, in front of the projects, in front of the corner store, but all their raps consist of lavish. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll never bring up the struggle, you know what I'm saying? And I've always been not afraid to show my vulnerability, because all of us, we have things that we go through. You know what I'm saying? We all love somebody, we all hurt somebody, we all been hurt, and you know what I'm saying, fell out of love. And I feel like when I pin those things together, it's genuine emotions inside of somebody. Whether somebody want to tell me it's dope or not, we all been through it.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, your mixtape, Hypebeast.
Yeah.
When did that drop exactly? Because I feel like I probably was behind schedule.
Nah, the first Hypebeast dropped in 2014.
Okay.
In 2014, and then I did Hypebeast 2 in 2015, and then this, I think I got the years wrong. Something that the last Hypebeast dropped this year. The Hypebeast 3, and the last one the year before.
The one with
and then,
the song August 18th that dropped.
Oh, that was December 2014. Hypebeast 2 was March 2016. So it was like 14 months, and then the last Hypebeast was March this month.
Why did you name it Hypebeast?
Because a part of my story too is, you know, fresh out of college, my mother that was the only option. If you're gonna be in the house, you're not gonna be in school, you gotta work. So I always grew up on sneakers, so I did something, you know, sneaker based, and I got a job at Foot Locker. And you know, as like fashion and stuff came more like, you know, mainstream, anybody that had stuff, they was calling you a hypebeast. And I feel like I've always had stuff, so I couldn't really escape the title. Like I got all these rare sneakers, I got all this Bape, Supreme stuff. I got everything that people's gonna be like, yo, if you wearing that, you a hypebeast. So I was like, you know what, why not just give it to the term? I had dealt with a lot of people that always say you have to find a lane to combine both your worlds. Because there's J-Tips the sneaker guy, and then there's J-Tips the rapper. So you gotta somehow connect those worlds together, and I felt like Hypebeast was the perfect piece that took that world and that world and introduced them to each other for me.